We, Nez Nation, my fellow Americans, I have uncovered a lot. I have been doing some serious due diligence today, some extensive research on USAID and the corruption, as expected, is abysmal. It's abominable. It is treacherous. It's treasonous. These people need to be tried for acts of sedition. I've said this many times before. But it goes even deeper. And so buckle up because I have a lot to share with you today. And the kind of crux of what I'm going to share with you today has a lot to do with the fact that the Hippocrats were the biggest hypocrites, liars, deceitful, scoundrel cockroaches in the game. And George Soros, their billionaire sponsored funder, are behind something even more nefarious. And yes, you and I have been behind the entire funding of this. I have discovered that USAID has pushed nearly a $500 million, 472 million to be exact, through a secretive US government financed NGO. If you don't know what an NGO is, it's basically a BS front for funneling and laundering money under the guise of a nonprofit government organization called Internews Network. Let's go to my trusty outline. I know you love the outline. Let's go right there. Okay, as I said, $500 million has gone towards this secret government entity called Internews Network. It even has a creepy, kind of evil sounding villain name, doesn't it? Internews Network. It sounds awful. Anything the government tries to do, anything bureaucracy tries to do, it just creates. Do you want to talk about dastardly deeds, Al Green? This is the dastardly deed that you guys are so scared to come out. I mean, it just sounds awful. Let me know in the comments what you think. So the USAID has funneled $500 million through Internews Network. Internews has worked with check this out, 4,291 media outlets, producing 4,799 hours of broadcasts. Can you imagine, Nez Nation, the amount of censorship, suppression, fake news that is obtained within that almost 5,000 hours of broadcasting? And if you don't know this, Soros just bought up over 200 radio stations. Hopefully, Trump's new FCC director, who I think he is looking into this. But essentially, he was given carte blanche by Biden and Kamala to buy over 200 radio networks to essentially do what they have been doing for the last couple of decades, which is trying to suppress people like me, trying to censor people like me, trying to suppress the truth, attack Trump, and go after MAGA. Essentially, that's what they've been doing. They've reached up to, look at this, 778 million people. 778 million people. So the next time you come across somebody who's got a severe case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, this is where I say DEI woke cancerous ideologies. It's a psychological operation, a psyop. It's an invisible, the deadliest contagion that's ever infected society because you can't see it. I'm finding the root of it, y'all. This is the root of it. Trained over 9,000 journalists, my God. Supported social media censorship initiatives, claims to have offices in over 30 countries, but wait till I show you this snapshot of their main headquarters. You're not going to believe this. It's something out of a really bad spy movie, or government, like Tom Clancy novel. Main hubs in US, London, Paris, Kyiv, Bangkok, and Nairobi, led by CEO Jean Bourgault, who I've got a video I'm going to share with you, a video clip of her talking at where else but the WEF, the World Economic Forum. She makes $451,000 a year to orchestrate this fake news cacophony, pageantry of lies. Board co-chaired by Richard J. Kessler and Simone Otis Cox. These are all Democratic donors, of course. And they launched a $10 million fund. Where else? Of course, at the Clinton Global Initiative in 2023. I mean, is it all making sense now, Nez Nation? This is the video you need to share with everybody. This is the video you need to share with everybody who tells you, oh, you're just a right-wing conspiracy. Oh, you're just listening to Breitbart or Alex Jones, or you're paying attention too much to the right-wing conspiracy theorists like Professor Nez. I'm not even right or left. I just love America. I'm not right or left. I love America. What I'm against is liars and hypocrites. And the Hippocrats, aka the Democrats, are the brunt of it all. They have 6 subsidiaries, one in the Cayman Islands to basically avoid taxes, and over 95, get this, my fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, this affects everybody, not just America, but, indirectly the world is affected by whatever happens here in the States. Over 95% of Internews's budget since 2008, can you believe this, has come from the US government, which means us. So this whole idea of nonprofit NGO, it's all BS. It's all BS, like I've been saying for how long? This is the crazy part. This is something I need to highlight. And I'm going to show you a quick snapshot of this. Their main billing location, I mean, it's something out of some B spy movie, Tom Clancy spy novel. Main billing location, where? I checked Google Maps. It's an abandoned building in California. If that doesn't ring 5 alarm red alarm bells, I don't know what does. An abandoned building in California? Check this out. This is Internews Network. It is a completely abandoned, there's nobody there. You could even see, let me see if I can zoom in. You could even see in the windows, there's nothing in there. There's a couple of ladders. It's an abandoned building in the middle of California. If that does not raise red flags galore, I don't know what does. You want us to be against Doge? You hypocritical laughingstock of the world, embarrassment to the United States of America. You want us to actually believe you and say that Elon Musk, he's dismantling. That's what we want. We want him to dismantle the government. That's what we want. But you're going to call this is their new talking point, their new parroting words. It's a constitutional crisis. It's a constitutional crisis. I've never seen anything like this. They're stopping all of our money laundering schemes. How dare they? Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. In the 1990s, Internews began to attract serious money. George Soros and his Open Society Institute became supporters. Is anybody really shocked by that? And now, the introduction of Soros has severe impacts globally. I'm going to get into that in just a second. But first, I want to share this salary compensation I was able to dig up of the key employees of this NGO, non-governmental organization, essentially fronting as a nonprofit. Second person there, Jean Bourgault, is the president and CEO, and you can see her abysmal salary right there. And the reason why this is important is because essentially, this is the person who's in charge of spreading massive fake news, social engineering through PR campaigns, through orchestrated falsified narratives and media intelligence operations, basically PSYOP operations. And here's a quick clip of her speaking at the World Economic Forum. Watch this.
Disinformation makes money, and that's one of the, we need to follow that money, and we need to work with in particularly the global advertising industry, that a lot of those dollars go to pretty bad content. And so you can work really hard on exclusion lists or inclusion lists to sort of really try to focus ad dollars and challenge the global advertising industry all around the world to focus their ad dollars towards the good news and information, the accurate and relevant news and information.
I don't know if you quite understood. I just want to reiterate the impact of those statements by this CEO. This woman who essentially is running she's like a villainous, leader of this evil empire, Internews Network. She is using very flippantly, very cavalierly, these extremely stark, menacing, propositions of essentially saying that we're going to exclude certain people and include certain people that we deem fit, who are actually aiding and abetting the narrative that we want the entire world, not just America, the entire world to absorb and believe. This is orchestrated fake news. This is strategized, highly sophisticated, highly psychologically engineered fake news. And those terms should make everybody's blood run cold, because these are the same villainous, academic, bureaucratic, non-creative, Marxist, Leninist, anti-capitalistic scum who essentially have been perpetuating fake information about Trump, about MAGA. They've done everything in their power to cause mass hypnosis and mass hysteria with their violent rhetoric, threat to democracy, Nazis, garbage, terrorists, anti-American, fascists. It's the same thing. As a matter of fact, all of those networks, CNN, all the fake propagandist woke news, they're all just another artery of this insane headquartered internews network, which Soros is a part of. It's really reminiscent of the same eerie, blood-chilling language that was used in the 1930s in Europe to exclude certain groups and include only a certain type of look, race, gender, etc., if you catch my drift. Okay, so how this relates to George Soros finally getting involved, because of course he starts to salivate. He starts to hear about this NGO. He doesn't have to use his own money. He can use our taxpayer money. So what does he do? Well, in November 2017, the United News for News Coalition, led by Internews in collaboration with the World Economic Forum, established to help transform local media markets around the world so that communities everywhere can benefit from the positive impact of high quality news and information. I mean, Orwellian doesn't even quite cover it. USAID funded Internews went from funding media organizations with George Soros to overthrow governments in Eastern Europe to calling for advertising boycotts to censor free speech online. This is a textbook example of US regime change tactics being redirected against domestic populism and American citizens. This was strategy. This was premeditated from the very beginning, everybody. In the 1990s, Internews partnered with the Soros Foundation. It went back that far to fund media organizations in post-Soviet nations, playing a pivotal role in the color revolutions of the 2000s in Serbia, Georgia, and Ukraine. During Georgia's Rose Revolution, Internews funded and trained journalists at Rustavi 2 TV, the leading channel driving the uprising. Mark Behrendt, former Internews director of Georgia, said this: media was very good at informing the public about what was going on, and it had a huge role in calling people onto the streets. By 2003 in Ukraine, Internews had conducted 220 media training programs, trained over 2,800 journalists, and produced more than 220 television and 1,000 radio programs, as I mentioned earlier. It also funded Telekritika, an online outlet that played a central role in the 2004 Orange Revolution. After Brexit and Trump's election in 2016, Internews, now working with the USAID-funded World Economic Forum, shifted its focus, because remember in my previous video, USAID funded the World Economic Forum, which is essentially just a kind of collection of globalists who hate free speech, who want to control literally everything and have their fingers as the puppet masters in every aspect of our lives, economically, financially, emotionally, intelligence-wise, information-wise, media-wise, everything. They shifted its focus to pushing advertising boycotts to suppressing online dissent. What was once a US-funded operation to overthrow foreign regimes is now being used to silence American citizens and dismantle Trump's populist MAGA movement. And the price tag, ladies and gentlemen, over 470 million taxpayer dollars into internews. You think you're going to see this on woke propagandist media outlets like CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC? I don't think so. Our mission here is to make common sense go viral. Imagine, even with all that power, this is the power of the people, by the people, for the people. This is the power of independent media organizations such as myself, whose mission is to make common sense go viral. I'm not right or left. I love America. I want the America I grew up in. We finally have a shot with President Trump, who is at breakneck speed, ludicrous speed, making changes that are revolutionizing America. And he's now got the House and Senate to back him. This is the time. We have the greatest opportunity to make America sane again, great again, and all the rest. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this. This is such an amazing time to be alive. But we need to keep fighting because they're not going to stop. We need to keep fighting. If you love America, if you love the direction we're going in, tap the thumbs up. Share this with somebody you know, because you're not going to see this anywhere. This is suffocating corruption. And if we don't expose them, they're going to keep getting away with it. We can't let them get away with it. So share this. I can't wait to read your comments. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I am always going to fight for you because I love my country and I want my grandkids' to live in the same America that I grew up in, which is full of promise, full of hope, and full of opportunities for people who are willing to work for it, like you and I. And I'm going to keep fighting. I hope you will join me. Subscribe. It's free. Sign up for our free newsletter. That's in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. If you want one of our made in the USA original Patriot Nez Nation merch, we got hats, mugs, backpacks, shirts, you name it, multiple different designs, amazing, all made in the USA. That's in the pinned comment and description down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you haven't seen them yet. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.